Hey there, Internet friends. Trevor Starkey here with another episode of AC Saturday, my Saturday show where I sit down and talk about anime and or comics. So where we last left off in me going through issues of Invincible was last week. I did issues 14, 15, and 16. Kind of talked a bit about them. And then this week I just went like gangbusters into reading Invincible. I finished Compendium 1 right there. Right there. And so reading through the rest of the book was about, like, that much of the book. Like, all that. In this last week. So I'm definitely not going to be, like, doing the traditional, like, recap review-ish thing that I'd been doing. I was just having such a great time reading it that I stayed up until 5 a.m. The other day finishing Compendium 1, just because I was getting, like, so sucked in that I just wanted to keep seeing, like, what comes next. I've read a little bit into Compendium 2, which I have, so all told, I've read up through issue 50. And in doing so, the bigger, broader thing I kind of wanted to talk about today for today's video is how subtly but like apparent it is that Invincible is very much kind of a product of its time in a lot of ways. Issue 50, I did a little research, came out about 10 years ago, 2008, and so everything else prior to that in the years leading up to it. And if you're, it's basically a monthly comic, so it'd been coming out for, 5 years-ish at that point. The most apparent thing that I see in it, the thing that jumps out as like a big flashing light when I read it now in 2018 is its very casual use of gay and retarded, those words as like just kind of nonchalant, like synonyms for stupid is how Mark and William and other characters use those terms, and is very much like you just wouldn't, I don't think, casually throw that around in the years that have come since. It makes me very curious to see if I will see the characters kind of shift away from that language down the line. But yeah, that's like every time the comic very frequently uses that and returns to this little recurring gag of William wanting to go flying with the flying superheroes like Invincible, like Atomic Eve, and every time they're like, dude, this is so gay. And, you see it a couple other times when Invincible is carrying other superheroes around or something like that. They very frequently kind of refer to it as being gay, as if gay is a bad thing. In the way that, growing up, I'm sure me and my friends said that stuff's gay all the time, or that stuff's retarded. And times have changed, and we've kind of moved away. I, in particular, have moved away from using those words because, I know gay people. I've known handicapped people. Even back, in elementary school, when I knew one of my classmates that was afflicted with Down syndrome, but like we didn't know that was mental retardation at the time, and like that was just not. It was like an era of innocence, I guess, because we would say that stuff, not ever referring to him and not even really knowing what we were referring to. But we said it, and eventually we, most of us, I imagine, have grown out of talking like that. And so it is very, interesting kind of every time that pops up. I'm like, oh, yep, this is not written in today's, manner. Not that, like, it can't be, not that those words can't be used in art or anything, but just how flippantly they're being used. If you were to write, a character kind of using that terminology in today's day and age, it's a conscious choice that you're, using that to say something about that character. Whereas this being a product of a decade ago, it is very much like, oh, that's just how an 18-year-old might have talked to his friends as he was kind of throwing that stuff around. So every time I come upon it, I'm like, oh, there we go. Yep, still kind of living in the last 10-15 years. But I'm interested to see how the comic kind of has continued shaping itself over time. I'm probably going to step away from regular Invincible reviews just because I am enjoying it at such a more accelerated pace. But I'm very much enjoying it. I'm definitely now, given that I swallowed 2/3 of this compendium in the course of a week. I am certainly concerned that I'm not going to let the second compendium last until the third one comes out in July. So I'm definitely going to run into kind of a wall here where I'm like, I need more Invincible, but it doesn't come out for another few months. So, God bless anybody who's been with this thing since the beginning and had to wait kind of 15 years for its conclusion. More power to you. But I'm enjoying it. I will continue to enjoy it, but I'm probably also going to, at this point, I think I'm going to switch back over to My Hero Academia for Season 2. They just announced that Season 3 is going to be coming out, and it's going to come out with subbed and dubbed day and date. So that's exciting. That's got a release date. I don't know when it is, but I figure I've got time to watch through Season 2 in the weeks to come. So probably going to switch this back up to a kind of an episode or two of that show here every week. So those are my plans. That's what I'm kind of looking forward to ahead in terms of AC Saturday. Let me know if you want to talk Invincible in the comments or on Twitter or anything like that. Again, I'm having a great time with it. There was just a nice big showdown between Invincible and kind of like the government people, and I'm interested to see kind of where the storyline continues from there. Let me know what you think about Invincible, what you think about kind of it as a, specific point in time kind of comic. And I think that's it. That's all I got to say. So, as always, I've been your host, Trevor Starkey from TrevorTrove.com. You can follow me at SnarkyStarkey on Twitter. And until next time, from here at the Trove, treasure your friends.